Hello everyone, hello world. Welcome to part 2 of this chat with the Kurupt FM boys. I don't know about you, but I feel like this is going quite well. You'd think I'd be intimidated by all this if I wasn't so darn professional. The stats are in and they're telling me loud and clear that we simply don't have enough subscribers. The team behind here, very unhappy. I tried to cheer them up, didn't work. So if you're watching this and you haven't clicked subscribe yet, do take a second to hit that button and let's get into part 2. I wanted to talk a little bit about LA because I have I tried to like LA for years.
Yeah.
I've been there like 5 or 6 times. And the first time I went there, I just went there just to check that it was real. That it just existed. Because I'd grown, grown up watching films set there just to check that it was real. Because the first time I went there, I sort of went on my own and I just sort of stood there and stared at the Hollywood sign, and I don't know what I was expecting that to do for me, but it was kind of just like, and I just think and I've had really bad luck there. I've had 2 relationships fall apart in LA, so this is just me. It's kind of like feels a bit like a cursed place. But it also feels like living on a movie set, or if you're in The Simpsons or something. It's kind of like
it's weird.
Everything feels like a prop, like nothing should work,
What
but
I
it
find
does.
weird is that, like, nothing's really super residential. Like, there's just like a massive like freeway. I don't even know what they call roads there, so I'm gonna say freeway. And then off the side,
we
are,
call
like,
them freeways,
houses and stuff. There's no centre. So everything's a 40-minute drive.
You've got to live there for a bit, much like myself.
2.5 weeks out there.
I was situated there for 2.5 weeks. But no, look, first time I went, Hugo knew about it a lot more because of his music stuff and because of your music stuff.
Because of the music. I've been there from the music.
So he was like someone that would be telling us about it, right? Like, and then the first time we went was about 7 years ago now, I'd say. Yeah. And it was because a DVD company flew us out there to like promote the DVD, even though even 7 years ago no one buys DVDs. Do you know what I mean? People used to nothing DVD, but they was paying for it. They put us up at the W.
Yeah, it was sick.
Sweet.
Lovely.
Amazing. 4 of me, Asim, Hugo, Steve all went out there. We had a beautiful time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Lived a little fun LA life, like did a little gig out there, and people were just getting into like that, it's kind of like, because of Skepta, like, like stuff.
I remember you were with Post Malone on one of those trips, which was quite a long time ago,
That's the same
right?
trip. Went to Post Malone's house. We went to Post Malone's house, and like we did our skit, and then afterwards,
sorry.
Go for it.
And then, I've got a story. I've got all of it if you want. And then after the skit, he goes, it was about 10 p.m. We were at his house, like it's proper nice. All his boys were there.
After the thing that you filmed?
That we filmed, sorry. Yeah. And then he goes, what you guys on now? Like, no, I can't do the accent. But like, he's like, asked if we want to hit the studio and make a tune. And we were like, proper like British, like down, like, we're actually a bit knackered from jet lag. Like, just wanted to go back to the hotel room and watch telly and have a wank and just missed the opportunity. And that was that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah.
Like, we could have gone there, made some cool shit, hung out.
Would you have done it as a serious rapper, or would you have done it as Grindr?
As Grindr. And also just the experience. Like, now I do more things like that.
So you didn't want to do it? I would have been like, sick.
Yeah, it's not that we didn't want to do it. We just felt a bit tired.
Okay, right.
Innit?
Yeah, the jet lag
we just felt knackered.
Yeah,
so
you wanted an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
well, the time difference is mad.
Yeah, mate. Like, now it's different. Now, also back then we wouldn't back then we took loads of meetings with like amazing people, like Seth Rogen's management and like loads of people, and all we did was just like terrorizing the meetings.
We didn't take it seriously.
But
I think that there's like, it's such a gassed up place, like you come in and like, we're going to make you, we want to show with you and come and...
You say that, I've had meetings this time that they're definitely telling the truth.
Yeah. On your own you would.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Wow.
That's the thing, back then I would have never walked into a room on my own either. Like, some room, like, I didn't think I deserved it. I didn't think I understood it. Since then, we've made a couple of shows. We've done 5 seasons of People to Nothing.
Yeah.
Done a movie. So I was taking meetings this time, but less as a like, them going like, what do you want to do? We'll get you this. You're more just talking to people that are creating stuff and like, can we bring our ideas over there and start chatting and stuff? And that felt more, I voice noted him go like, obviously you're gassed, right? Because you're in Universal and you're seeing all the different studios. You're seeing all the different things. I'm in the lot, and I messaged him. I was like, bro, I'm just in a lot. I've just come out of a meeting. Like, we're gonna take over the world. Just like completely gassed. And he was like, bro, obviously your gas is different from like a car park in Richmond or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like it's and that's the good thing, right? Is that if you do it right, and because I was there like waking up early, going to the gym. My girlfriend's there. She's working. I'm taking meetings. I'm doing work from back home. She's got a little group there. I know a few other people, and not part of like the sort of pretentious fake world.
Yeah,
like musicians or just like normal heads that we know out there.
Yeah,
I was like, actually, this is sick. Like I went to a Stussy party and Goldie was playing, and there was bare young youths listening, and all different ages.
Yeah,
a part of this sort of scene, as we say here, whatever, like fashion heads or whatever. But they listen to drum and bass and they're loving UK culture and they're like, yo, I love Peep Show. Like they're watching UK Peep Show. And I don't mean like, before it would be people that work in comedy out there.
Yeah.
This is like normal people. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, this is actually sick. Like I could live here now.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you.
I went to a rave in downtown and like, so this is, and also not everyone's getting fucked out of their mind constantly. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can go out and listen to some music.
And not everyone's on ketamine and needs instruction.
I think that like LA sort of, you need to be there for quite a while. It sort of reveals itself over time.
Yeah.
Whereas like whereas with New York, it's just like bam.
Oh, man.
It's like bam, this is it. I think LA is a lot to do with like the circles that you meet and stuff like that. Because everything's so far apart. You can't just go there and you'd be like, where is the vibe?
No, like, exactly. Like,
but it sounds like you're kind of now embedded and you've got your people there and circles that you're mixing with and stuff like that.
Exactly, and you're still getting to know different pockets of it and stuff. And like,
and the pockets are very different.
Very different.
Like, it's crazy. Yeah. I loved Venice.
Yeah.
Venice, I thought, was sort of like Los Angeles Camden.
Yeah.
It was like, you know what I mean?
Mad. Yeah,
and then I really liked Silver Lake as well. And it's just nuts. If you go to Hollywood, suddenly people are talking about crypto and celebrities that they've met, and it's just
Silver
really
Lake's
butters.
Like Dalston and that, basically. Like, it's more suburban, and you can walk around in that place.
It's not like you need a truck.
And like, don't get me wrong, like before, if anyone said to me before, like, I'm moving to LA, I'd think you're a wanker, and if they said New York, I think you're cool. And also at the same time, I'm not fully deluded. Like, you know, I'm going there in the capacity of potential opportunities and stuff. If you didn't have any, it'd be a very lonely, sad place.
Of course.
If you like catch a lick there, it's different to here.
Different.
You know,
So again,
if you get an opportunity there, it's different to here. Like here, you might be on like, there's someone who's on a panel show's got a series out, like, which is not exciting. But there, it might be like, you know, something quite interesting with someone with a massive reach.
Yeah.
And like,
also they'll try there as well, right? Like they're like, you got an idea, let's try, let's riff, let's try. Where here you're like working on like story and character art for like months on end, and then it might not go anywhere.
I was going to say, do you think things happen quicker in America? Like,
do.
I remember
they
someone
can flop quicker as well. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the gamble.
But a friend of mine who's moved,
forget about you.
But it's such a big place as well.
Yeah.
Like, England's the size of
America's bigger than England.
California, just about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like,
which is interesting for the podcast.
You can have a subculture there, you know, and be huge, and earn a lot of money, and still have like a normal life as well outside of it.
Yeah.
The good thing about out here is, you know, you gain more creative control, like you get time to do things more, you know what I mean? And you can do them more in your own way. And like our stuff's good, you know, we make good stuff, not as in us, I mean in the UK, you know, people make quality comedy and stuff. Like out there, obviously the stakes are higher, the money's more, but they're so much more competent, man. Like the amount of mistakes we have in the UK, like we call it Donkeyville, like with like people behind the scenes, like there everything's like
it's
all
part of their
up.
like cultural heritage.
That's why they're more intense as well, and sometimes it's long.
But that's where films were invented.
Yeah, that is where
they're
films
just
were invented.
Yeah. Thank you.
But they're just so seasoned.
Seasoned,
it's
man.
Like it gets done like this.
But Americans in general, I think they're a lot more like anal with things and a bit more, you know, like, and they'll say how that, you know, they're very much more like confident, even in
the lights are perfect.
Yeah, even in politeness, they're confident, like aggressive in politeness. You know what I mean?
Okay, right.
So then the other side of aggression, they're like, you know, like I went, bruv, the rules out there, man. Like you need to like So like you can't smoke anywhere, like really.
Yeah.
Like fair enough, I shouldn't smoke. Whatever.
You mean cigarettes or weed?
Yeah.
Oh, you smoke weed anywhere.
Yeah.
That's health benefits.
But bro, like even like there's no like you're at a fucking bar and like there's an outdoor bit you can't smoke there and that at night. Like and in the street you're like this, there's security outside of everywhere and they're constantly telling you to move on. You're like, feel like a fucking what's going on? But anyway, I went to Joshua Tree, which is beautiful.
I went to Joshua Tree. It's amazing.
I think you messaged me.
I did. Yeah. It's like another planet.
Have you been to Joshua Tree?
No.
Oh, right. So I know LA more than you. Actually,
it's not actually
California.
LA. So.
Yes, California bollocks. Yeah.
You've been San Fran already?
Yeah. No.
Carry on.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that the terrain looks like Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's like cowboy land.
And that's what
I've seen
I
the
found.
pictures.
Yeah. That's what really
I'm explaining it to you. Yeah, I know what fucking is. Yeah.
I've played GTA. I know.
Yeah. No, but on the way out, right, from LA, bro, you would have loved this. I was like, I basically have a really weak bladder. Like every half an hour, I need to piss. Hugo knows. And then so we're going out of LA. Everyone's, pretty bit multicultural, open-minded LA, right? Less Trumpy. And then as you're going out, starts getting different, right? And then we're like, it basically desert on the side of the road. There's a little gas station. That's what they call petrol stations.
Services.
And it's just a little shack sort of thing. So I'm thinking, it ain't got a toilet in there. We're in the middle of nowhere. There's a bush sort of behind it in the distance. I just go for a piss. Normal, right?
Yeah.
It's a fucking hot day. You're watering the plants. Yeah. So I go for a piss. This fucking guy starts running towards me with a bottle in his hand. Sir! Like, it was a plastic bottle, and he was doing it because how people might react to him, like he's ready because they're more aggressive out there. Yeah,
he's like, strap out.
Yeah, he's like, sir, what are you doing, sir? What are you doing? And I was like, what's going on? I'm pissing. Yeah. And he comes right up to me, and I'm still pissing. I was like, you're right.
And I can't stop.
And I was like, you're right. And he was like, you please, you just can't, you can't urinate there, sir. You can't urinate there. I was like, all right. He's like, there's a toilet in the restroom, and I was there's a restroom in the gas station, and then I was like, all right. So I stopped halfway through because I was a bit thrown off. I was like, look, I said sorry, right? I was like, look, I'm not from around here. I'm sorry, I'm English, and
we piss everywhere.
Yeah, we piss everywhere.
Let's go to a festival.
And we walk into this thingy. And then he walks in behind me after he says, okay, it's fine. He walks in behind me and snitches to the one behind the till immediately. He goes, he was urinating behind the U-truck. And I was like, oh, what are you doing?
Why are you snitching?
Yeah. And there's loads of customers in there and everyone's like, starts whispering and talking about me. Yeah. And then I was like, looking at her like he's a bit of a freak. So I was like, sorry. And she goes, dude, not cool. And I was like, wait, what?
All right.
I was like, I was pissing, I stopped, I said sorry, it's in a bush, it's in the middle of nowhere, no one can see me. She was like, no, stop talking over me, sir. And I was like, what's going on? She's about to pull out a taser. What's going on?
All based on one piss.
One piss, yeah. And then I start sort of arguing back. People in the shop are like, you shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, oh my God. And then she goes, you could get, what did she say? She was like, you were revealing yourself to minors. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, you lot are off your fucking head, mate. And I walked out, got in the car. Vic goes in to pay. Vic's my girlfriend. She goes in to pay for the gas. She comes out and she's like, they do not like you in there. They're all fucking arguing over you and chatting about you. Yeah. And I was like, right, and what did you say then? She's like, nothing. I'm not getting involved.
I was paying and going.
And she goes, well, you probably shouldn't have pissed. And I was like, are you joking? And I was like, fucking
You're
weird.
On their side?
Yeah. And I was
You're different in America.
I was like, I hate America. Fucking Trump supporting right-wing freaks. Yeah. I hate this place. And then she stopped the car. She's like, do you want to go back to LA? Or are you happy to carry on? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I was just, that really was a lot.
It reminds me of like when we were on the tour bus and we were driving through Camden and we got out. I can't remember who we were picking up. And me, you and Jay, the driver, were all pissing around a bin and someone came out of the house and he just went, oh, for fuck's sake, guys.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's
the British version.
That's
the British. That's what I expect. If someone goes, oh, mate, and I'm like, sorry, leave it then. I've said sorry. I'm not saying sorry 6 times and you're calling me a paedophile.
Bro, I told you, like,
which I'm not, by the way. Sorry.
Before we started recording that my mate we were in a club and obviously the line for the toilet was mad. So he went out of the club and went round the side.
In LA?
Piss. Yeah. He got held at gunpoint for it.
On your knees?
Yeah.
He was like that. Obviously he came in like traumatized and the night was over. Mad. But it's like,
Bruv.
Don't piss in the wrong place in LA.
They're the worst parts of that shit, you know, like the rules and how they take things seriously.
Yeah.
You know, and that does lean into the fact they're more competent because they take it really seriously, their job.
Yeah, no, exactly,
you know? And like, if you're a writer out there in writer's room, like I met my mate that moved over there, and he's like, I was like, work a bit harder. You know, I hear about 3 or 4 o'clock going, oh, my mind's a bit frazzled. Should we leave it? Yeah. And there he's like, no, there's no weekends, bro. Like, if you're writing a show, you've got to be in on Saturday and Sunday. You could be until midnight. Do all night.
There's no room for the week.
Nah, that's the problem. So that's why most people like, oh, the money or working really hard from the UK.
Even with music, it's like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be at the studio at 1 a.m. Do you want to pull up about 3? 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Pull up.
What, in America?
Are you mad?
Yeah.
I'm knackered.
Yeah.
Pulling up at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
but that's the difference between getting a big tune or not. Like,
you
got to pull up at 3 a.m. half asleep.
Yeah.
Smoke a pure blunt.
Well, we were talking about that, like
they're really good at smoking out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole different. And we were talking about that before the podcast as well. Just like, I don't know how some people do it, and it's almost like I've tried to just smoke weed in America. Maybe I will feel like these guys because I'm in America. Maybe it's a bit different.
They've got a foot-long puri in a blunt,
and still function.
Oh yeah,
and
still good to see you, bro. What you been up to? Like, whoa, what the fuck?
My mental health is great after this.
Hey, I'll put you in touch with so and so. You're networking.
Call him now. I'm buzzing, bro. I can't talk to anyone.
So like, I had a feeling, I don't know why, but because we all kind of grew up within pirate radio and in a similar sort of culture,
where you
could piss anywhere, but were you also like weed smoking all day, every day from morning to night? Because that was me, you know what I mean?
From 14 hash, 15 bud to 27. Like I quit.
I was saying earlier,
quit like 2 years ago. 27.
I feel like I had a moment where it just turned on me. Like I was saying before, like it took me years to accept that this no longer relaxed me. That it was actually. No, I don't know, like at what point it's sort of maybe. Some things work for you at a certain age.
I've had it where I've had to stop for a bit, like big anxiety attacks, vibe.
I'd say it's life, really. It's the abuse of weed. It's not weed's fault, right? You can't look. Burgers all right if you're into that thing, Like if you have 12 burgers every day for 15 years, it's going to affect you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're dead, mate.
You're dead, little fatty.
Think.
I don't eat them.
But like. So the same with like weed, like we abused it, like it was always about blazing the best crow, like the fattest suits. And you're getting older and life starts getting involved, things that you need to sort out that you haven't. You know? So then of course you're gonna have a freak out at some point.
Well, I know people that I kind of grew up with, you get to an age where you start to look like a really stuck person. And like some people kind of manage to just quit and other people just kind of keep going.
And it's like,
and I just think the whole thing with like drugs and alcohol is like, I think it just starts to look sad in a way that you're really cool if you're reckless in your 20s. That guy's sick. He doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? But you definitely don't want to be the guy like they say, you don't want to be the oldest person in the club. It starts to look like you know.
Right. Like the people that were the man, like you know,
And did you find stopping smoking weed easy?
I did, because I would literally get panic attacks off it. So I was fearful of it at that point. I was like, I can't do it.
I haven't completely stopped.
You ain't completely stopped.
I found it really, even though it kind of just made me feel anxious, I still really found it hard to stop. Which doesn't really make sense. So the same reason why I smash coffees. I think I'm addicted to stuff that makes me anxious.
Exactly. My heart's pounding. I don't know why.
Wow.
I should probably get it pounding a bit more, actually.
Do you know what? I sold weed for a long time as well. Pretty much most of that period, and actually I stopped smoking weed before I stopped selling weed. So that's probably part of my like weird.
Do you mean you were selling it and having stopped, you were still selling it?
So I think that's what made it easier. Part of my weird OCD or something, knowing that it's around me.
I love
just
weed.
knowing that
I love
it's
the
there.
smell of it. I love the knowing it's there. Exactly.
Yeah.
To this day, I love it.
I don't smoke Zoots anymore and shit.
I love Zoots, but I can't.
I like a little one bun on that, especially this new fucking whatever.
Well,
do you know what they do? Sorry to interrupt. Do you know what they do in LA, by the way? And I thought maybe that's the way in. Is like the person whose flat we were renting, we went in the drawers, and they've got just like, you know, like when it looks like you've stubbed out the Zoot. There's like 4 buns basically. Pre-rolls, 4 buns.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
Yeah.
I would like that.
They could do a brand, just call it 4 buns.
Yeah, 4 buns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're just I mean, you have like lip balm. And like different, you know what I mean? Like going to LA, and I did kind of like going to cookies. Like there is a childish part of me.
I really.
And now they make weed even more tempting than before because I mean they call them like flavors now, and they've got all those packs, and you'll see one that says like licorice all sorts or like
banana strawberry ice cream.
And I'm like,
and you know, like when I was blazing, it was like, you know, blueberry cheese, like blue cheese. That to me was the most fruit. Like I love that taste and flavor. So even to this day, I still cat out like for. So I really wanted to go to a dispensary, but it's pointless because if I go in, I'm definitely gonna want to like look at the buds, crack them open, and buy some. And but I'm not gonna smoke it.
I had it when I went to LA in a dispensary where they were like, "It's our 5-year anniversary today, sir. You get a free hit of." The fucking
volcano,
the dab.
Oh.
I didn't know what a dab was. Like we just smoked zoots. And I was like, hey,
what's the dab?
It's the purest pure form.
It's like pure THC.
Resin.
Oh my god!
And what? Do you smoke it still?
Oil. It's oil. It's oil.
Yeah. But they dabbed me
on a little glass pipe.
I had to sit in the car on my own for like maybe an hour and a half.
Day changed.
Breathing. Like it's the highest I've ever been.
What about when you had to like? It was, I think it's an LA story when you took edibles and you had to strip naked and stand by the AC.
Oh my god! Yeah, edibles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's they're just good at taking weed.
Yeah.
Well,
it is taking that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just stronger and stronger nowadays.
You can
it gets
pump
quite
them full
a
of
bad.
We sound like that, you know, with our parents when they'd be like, we used to smoke the nice clean weed. It's all strong these days and full of chemicals.
It's like Louis C.K.
You know, like you'd give like an adult back in the day, give them some of your skunk and they're fucking blown.
No, exactly.
So I had it with Plan. I was in studio with Plan B, and he's got this like guitar. He's more than a guitar player, but like this producer.
So Plan B, you mean my Muay Thai partner?
Your Muay Thai partner,
Oh,
Ben.
nice.
And I was out in the garden smoking a zoot, and this player came out and was like, he was just standing with me, and I was like, oh, do you want some? He was like, yeah. So I gave him some. He hit it like a trooper.
Was this in LA?
No, here.
Okay,
like,
right.
He's a bit older, he thinks it's weed.
Then he goes, and then I'm smoking it, and he goes, this is nice. He's like, but I wouldn't smell that skunk shit. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He goes, the last time I had that, he was like, put me in a bad place. I had to go A&E.
And he'd already.
Right. This was like
when this hits him.
Our friend Rolly grew this stuff. It was amazing. So strong.
Yeah.
I shouldn't probably say Rolly grew this. Our friend grew it.
Okay, we'll do a beat.
Yeah.
And and then I walked past the room that he was sat in, and he was just there, like eyes. Soloing on guitar, and I thought, I'm not going to tell him.
Oh, bruv, what about Mark Found on sound?
Oh my god!
So Mark Found was our sound guy on People See Nothing for the first, I think for
3 years.
3 years, yeah. And he did sound in The Office. He's like an old school legend. Like we used to always pick his brains, but he's like obviously a bit older. Like he's in his 60s maybe.
Yeah, he's old.
50s,
he did
60s.
the sound for
People See Nothing. And like so he's obviously old school. He used to smoke like the weed in the hippie days. Yeah. And then you know, but people like that, they're away from their wife because you're filming for like 6 weeks.
Okay, yeah.
This is when I was still shot up until series 3, right? And he'd smell it on me and be like, oh, can you get me any, smell some weed? I'm like, yeah. I sent him about a cue a week, and his brother's not used to like blazing like proper high grade punk.
Yeah.
And then we're doing, you know, those sort of scenes on the rooftop that Grinder would be talking to camera, like the jail.
Would he be like holding the boom?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, right.
And having to press record, right? Yeah. So all those talking heads, he was so blazed out his mind, he forgot to press record, and we only found out when we got to the edit. And so then
on the rooftop, so you have to go back up to the rooftop.
No, I just didn't get any of those for that series.
Okay, right.
And then Ash sat me down, the producer, because they all knew I shot it and that. And they didn't mind because they quite liked the sort of, working class boys, you know, the sort of thing. Like, it's like box tick, you know. But he was like, how much are you actually earning of it? Because obviously I'm only shooting to my mates at this point. I'm not like on road. And then I was like, I don't know, like a couple hundred a week max. And he's like, yeah, maybe stop it. Like, no, you're not Pablo Escobar. And I was like,
okay,
he's like, you're on the telly now. And I'm like, yeah, all right, sweet.
Probably it's time to stop.
Yeah.
Mark Found on sound.
Exactly. Big him up.
It's a difficult one to manage. Like, I don't think you know, the meetings that you were speaking about that you find yourselves in LA?
Never.
Like, imagine smoking a zoo and then going into...
just like, what am I doing?
You go one of two ways, I think. Either you
because sometimes you can be really, like, inspired.
Yeah, but,
but it's an unpredictable...
If you're guaranteed that, brilliant, but it's not always guaranteed, is it?
You might just go... deep within yourself,
and the longer you blaze, that's why we blazed before, because it's like I'm on point, I'm great.
You blaze to feel normal.
Actually, before college, I had to have my last few buns so I could even handle the lesson, right? And then
if you're out of the rhythm of smoking weed, it would be.
You can't just have 2 bun and go into a meeting.
Yeah,
I'll start rigging it.
Right.
And what actually is that? I think if you're in a meeting and I think it's you start listening to your thoughts more than you otherwise would.
100%.
I mean, what is if you were to describe?
Well, I'm a bit like that anyway. I'm a bit like I'll start.
Like, I just feel like you start listening to your thoughts more than you would, so that you're less in the room.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is.
And I'm like that. That's my base level, right? Like sometimes I might be in a meeting and I'm talking and I'm just listening to the words come out and I'm going, what are you even saying as I'm talking? And then it starts sounding weird because I'm not thinking about what I'm saying.
And I really hope this other person doesn't notice.
And they're like, they're not really nodding along. They're not really And then you stop and they go, yeah, well, this is it. You're like, oh, thank fuck for that. They were listening. Yeah, they didn't pull me up on it.
Do you like subscribe to the idea of ADHD? Do you think that you guys have any of that? I feel like we're of a generation, and also kind of the skunk generation.
Exactly.
Hasn't helped for stuff like that.
I think that it wasn't something that, again, we sound like old men. It wasn't something that it was spoke about, but it wasn't something that like would be diagnosed back then. But I do. That's probably something more to ask of my friends.
What if you have ADHD?
Yeah. Because it's said as a joke a lot.
I don't really know what it is, if I'm being honest. Like to me, someone with ADHD is someone like with their t-shirt around their head running around the playground or something.
Yeah. Well then.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Well, like
I do think I have parts. Yeah. Like parts. I guess it's a spectrum as well, right?
Yes,
well, you're never quiet unless you're pissed off.
Yeah.
So if that's then yeah. And even when you're pissed off, you're trying to be quiet.
Yeah. I
can hear your brain working.
What about when I lost my voice the other week and we were on tour?
You weren't quiet at all.
I know, but I was trying to. Like, I lost my voice. We had another gig that night, and they're all chatting amongst themselves, and I'm like, and Steve's like, this is killing him. Like, he really wants to get involved.
Yeah, but then like when you have rum and cigarettes, you're back.
Then it's back, and my voice comes back.
Yeah.
Ice drink, alcohol, and tobacco really helps.
So you guys must love the live shows.
Yeah,
I mean, just to think about your lives for a bit.
When it all goes
sick, it's so sickly divided between live shows, acting and filming, and how would you say it divvies up like nowadays? Like, you're touring.
Yeah.
I guess acting, and you're making more music than Seeper, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
Like as a producer, that's kind of
trying to like re-navigate myself back into that, and not make like music that I don't want to say forced, but pushed towards.
Someone held his neck down.
To pop.
But that's always been going on for you since you were how old that you've been like a serious producer.
Yeah, it was for a bit.
Making music for for yourself, but also that's come out.
But even
commercially.
So just to go back, so that would be how we met. He was like a bedroom hip hop producer that was making tunes for people that were releasing them in a sort of underground circuit hip hop.
Yeah,
sense,
like
right?
on mixtapes.
Like what artists?
High Street. Like no one would know them.
Nah, like that's local. The thing. We were still outside. So we used to listen to like Jess, Task Force and all that.
Yeah.
We were still outsiders of that, right?
Yeah.
So I was DJing for Jess.
Well, we know that because we went to I think it was yours or Jess' birthday party at Yo-Yo's. Just me and him in the crowd on our own.
Yeah. Say that again. When what? And we were playing Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
Me and Jess.
It was your DJ.
Yeah.
It was your birthday party.
Yeah. And it was just you guys. There's no one else.
As fans. Yeah.
We were always paid to
go in as obviously, not many people came to my birthday party then.
Yeah.
No, is that what you mean?
No. It was Ram.
No, it was Ram, but just us two as civilians on as before we'd done anything.
Yeah.
So we already knew about it.
We faked the hand stamps. We faked the hand stamps
again because we couldn't even afford to get in.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we just pulled up.
Even when I sort of DM'd you guys and you got, I kind of thought this is a long shot here. I'm going to ask these boys, and then you were like really up for it, like straight away. I was like, I was trying to figure out why that would be.
Yeah,
and then I was like, maybe,
we're
okay,
outsiders.
maybe.
We still want to be in. We still want to know Clash.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but I was like, this is maybe a DJ IQ thing.
Yeah,
like, maybe it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's so weird because like during that time, like, I mean, I was just like constantly smoking weed. So I didn't, and only when I started doing other stuff did I look back on my, I don't know, like DJ IQ years and go, that was actually quite, like, that was a thing. A little bit.
Yeah.
Like people actually
100%.
knew me. And I was just like, because I was getting sneaked into clubs, like, you know, before I was even allowed to be there.
Yeah.
And
for us,
and also I just loved it. So I was literally in weed world, like working on routines and like battle stuff.
Yeah.
And so it pays off many years later because then there's people like yourselves that are up for having a chat with me.
Well, because for us, it's a blanket thing of like the scene that back then, the UK hip hop scene, right? Like for you might be like, I didn't even know that guy. But for us, it's like DJ IQ, Harry Love, Jess T. It was all one thing. Even if it might be slightly different eras, but we were outside of it. So that's us as fans.
I feel like it goes back to being outsiders because even then, like we weren't on the stage. Well, we actually did go on the stage, but not because we were invited.
We just jumped on.
Yeah, we jumped on.
Yeah.
But even
he stage dived.
I can't help myself. But even musically, like trying to, I guess, emulate that Jess sound and then realizing, like Jess, Dilla, you know,
Dilla
Lewis
was
Parker,
his thing. Yeah, Lewis Parker.
Like trying to emulate and then being like, oh, you know what, fuck it, like I just got to do my own thing here.
Yeah, I was so gassed when Jess asked me to be his DJ.
Yeah,
I would
big
even
thing.
just to get the test presses before everyone else, and I could go onto Itch FM, my radio station, and play the test presses and stuff. So like, I got asked when I was a fan. I was buying like Harry Love records and Jess records before even. Yeah. And I remember we were touring. We did this one tour with Kalashnikov and Terra Firma, and it was in like this converted ambulance, and you know we'd be you know driving to like Penzance, and that was my life for so.
Do you remember Super T then?
Of course, I remember Super T.
I loved him because he was a bit more niche and was only on some tracks.
The Sun Dragon.
He was so sick, bruv. Like, yeah.
No, those days were amazing.
Dragon,
I actually went to the Jazz Cafe a couple of months ago, and I just thought it's amazing that Jess can still sell that out, like from 20 years ago when I did it with him to like now.
Yeah, that's
it was
crazy,
really weird though. It was like stepping, like everyone I knew was just kind of had the same face, but was like a 40-year-old bloke. It was so weird. It was like, you know, it's because the features never changed, but so much does around the face.
Yeah. But he created a sub-genre, I guess, of UK rap.
Yeah.
Which, like, he owns that lane, and there's so many, you know, people that have contributed to that.
And he's never diverted.
No, but
which is the best thing that he could have done.
He does really well. Yeah. And he always has. It's a community.
Yeah. And I learned so much. Like, I'd go to his house and he'd be chopping up like a sample on the MPC 60, which is like what Premiere used to get his sound and stuff. So it's like, I really value that time. Do you know what I mean? And I think the really cool thing about us meeting up again, like here 20 years later, and why it works is because we've always cared about the real stuff, which is like the art and the music. And I just feel like those types of people end up finding each other. Do you know what I mean? The same reason why you guys were rocking up to like the gigs that I used to do, in the same way I fuck with what you guys are doing. It's just because it's like we're kind of nerds.
But we've also had like. We sort of have these characters. We've never done them, but these characters in our brains of that era of like
the UK hip hop characters would be amazing as well.
Yeah.
We kind of
sort of mixed with the sort of, you know, like the nerdy battle rap scene of like, you know, big them up or whatever, but like the don't flop, you know, that sort of,
I think Lunacy was amazing.
Lunacy,
it's amazing.
I'm not talking about the actual rappers, but I'm talking about the vibe of like, you know, like guys from Norwich doing it. You know what I mean? Like, when we was growing up, it was here, you know, and then some people thought like obviously Jess originally from Leeds and Skinny, but you know what I mean? It was more of a London centric thing. But there's something interesting about the regional underground backpack rapper that would make something really funny, I think.
Yeah. What's so sick as well, I was going to say that, like, you know, because you guys started out like being and doing the stuff that we were doing as well, you know, like MCing and DJing and stuff. But it's like, I think there's an element of, if you just stay doing what you love, the universe kind of decides what you, and like the People Just Do Nothing thing was so unplanned. But there was just suddenly a space where you guys must have been like, well, maybe I'm meant to be doing this now.
But that's what I was going to say.
It kind of gets decided for you. You were like,
it does
get
decided for you, but you have to be ready to convert. You know what I mean? And move.
Did you have a phase where you were like, I want to be known as a serious musician?
Yeah, that was my whole thing. Like, I got introduced, like, big up First and Last and Aziz and Oracle. Like, we were into like, so like, I liked UK hip hop, but then they and like us as a collective, we used to be into like super Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep and Killer Army and all that side of things.
Super dark side.
Yeah, like I used to have lyrics about me being like a 5%er and shit. Like the White Devil and that, like the only white guy in the crew. But because I'm Kurdish, I kind of got away with it. Like, and then they were like, oh, we've got this producer that we use sometimes. Come to his house, and that was Hugo. Yeah,
right.
And and then we connected. You know, so it was like, but. I wanted to be like, I had the whole bravado, I didn't want anyone to know I was funny or anything like that. I'd save that for people like Hugo, and that's when I finally felt myself. It was him that unlocked that in me. Of course, I had that at school and stuff before, but that got buried deep because of that, the whole rude boy culture and men as young.
Was that still going on when you were doing the YouTube videos? Because you thought, well, this might not be big. This is just something fun on the side that I enjoy doing.
So we first started doing YouTube videos as like hip hop videos, right? And that's where it would be like that, blah, blah, blah. And then the first time we filmed together, I was like, I'm not sure about this because no one's going to take my rap shit seriously.
But you must have been enjoying it. So was that a conflict within you of like, I really enjoy this?
My whole life before that was, you know, what should I do or what perceived I should do, blah, blah. But at that point, it was like, what feels better in here? And it was
what do I enjoy more?
Yeah, what do I enjoy?
I found like being around rappers that have a bravado, like if I go the polar opposite and talk about wanking, or like, then I'm not a threat. I'm just like this.
Before they thought it was a threat.
Yes. But like, just make them feel comfortable, you know. There's no like, you don't have to have that bravado here.
Did you have
fuck around and experiment and try and sing a chorus if you want.
Did you have the same sort of battle that Sleeper did? You were happy to try this comedy thing?
But I'm not a rapper. Like, I'm not trying to like create this image of myself as like some mysterious like underground.
And
then you kind of talked to Sleeper.
Mysterious underground murderer, which I was at some point.
I'm definitely never that. And
He because he's way more of a neek than me. He was way more himself.
Right.
Also,
less of a transition.
The goons more. I was fine around there.
Yeah, I was more rough around the edges though.
Yeah, he's more going silent when there's real goons in the room. It's a real threat. I'd still talk about wanking, break them slowly. Yeah.
And I'd go bright red and be like, "What are you doing?"
I'd be like, "What you lot been on?"
Why was it Brentford? Were you guys?
That's where he lived.
Okay, so that's where you lived.
That's where I grew up. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and Steve's from there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
So that's why, similar to Alan Partridge, as a reference for you, it's all in an area that they know really well, and that works with Brentford.
Steve Coogan's from Manchester.
Exactly.
So it's got nothing to do with Norwich.
No, it does. That's it all links in the end.
It all links, yeah. And I was at sort of where I lived, it was like a 20-minute bus ride from Brentford, right? So I used to hang around with him all the time. I couldn't blaze at mine, so I'd be blazing at his house sort of.
Yeah, we'd make no music.
We've
done like 2 tunes.
Yeah, in the whole... And we were
in
there
the studio
on a professional... Really on a professional basis, if we should be working together in a way.
But that was sort of the excuse.
That's the
maybe
excuse to
gave
link
to your
up.
mum as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to studio.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, keep working hard at it and make sure. Yeah, definitely. Go blaze at his house. Watch documentaries. You know, and it was studio. Remember how people used to watch things? Would be he's in the swivelly chair. I'm on the little chair next to it.
Or the mattress.
On the mattress.
Yeah, standard.
And it's watching it on a computer because that's what you're making your beats on. But we're putting YouTube on and we're watching things that aren't meant to be funny, like documentaries that we're finding funny.
Yeah.
We're like I'm trying some of his clothes on and bursting in, filming each other, pretending to be weird A&Rs and like, you know, playing on
doing freestyle rapping.
Weird, like whack on purpose freestyle rapping. You know, like all that stuff. That was our training ground, but we didn't know that at the time. We were just doing it to have jokes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's amazing. Like, it's so nice to meet you guys and actually talk about it because, like I've said, it's so like beautifully nuanced. Like you would would have had to have lived that life before you could sort of capture it.
Yeah.
And that kind of delusion.
Yeah.
That made it so funny.
It's because it's very much. Why am I saying that? Of course, it's very much.
I like this.
No, you're right. It is beautifully nuanced. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, because it is when he said, I was like,
it is
blurring into the back of my head.
It is. Did you say genius? It is.
It's genius. Yes. But the thing is, it's like all of that is right in a sense, because it wasn't just the comedy of it. It wasn't just, you know, making sure we hit the realism, blah blah blah. It was like it was a love letter to our teenage years in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, and all of it translates. Whether we're going through the garage and jungle stage, or the grime stage, or the hip hop stage, it's all the same thing, man. It's all like a group of young people trying to make something.
It's wanting to belong.
And there's egos involved, and you're caring about something that is outside the realm of work and money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
and graffiti was the same for me. Like before that.
Yeah, same. I love graffiti. I just wasn't good at it, and I also never want to go trackside.
But everyone had a tag. Like it was a thing, and that was also a thing where that was just it's just a culture thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're part of something. You don't care what you're getting out of it, but you're happy to put something in it.
I just love the fact, looking from the outside in, just seeing how, like I said, the whole people just do nothing thing, it so clearly wasn't this grand master plan that it just kind of must have, like, definitely there would have been decisions for you to make along the way, probably many. Yeah. But at the same time, like, even doing the live shows, like, they wouldn't be what they are if you hadn't had the musical background. So again, just a bit of magic there, that if you had and actually I'll tell you this, I remember Ricky Gervais saying that when he won his first BAFTA and he got back home and he held it and he said to his wife, or he said to his girlfriend, why didn't I do this earlier? And she said, because you wouldn't have been any good at it. Yeah, like, he needed to be in an office and work in an office for 10 years. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's beautiful full circle that you guys can do like a live show and you've got the skills.
The best thing just makes it lean into that. Like lean into that world that we so desperately wanted to belong in. But what was the outsiders? I feel that stuff. I mean, even you with your fitness, like Andy Peacock,
exactly.
You never got it right.
You went to one of those classes.
I went to Barry's boot camp today. Shout him out.
Nice.
He's a plumber.
This guy called Barry in a Greg's.
What are you doing?
Hurry up, mate. Come on.
Putting up pipes and doing a bit of grouting.
But you know what? Because all that the fitness thing is a thing that we both had to, like, you know, our weight fluctuates through the years.
Oh man,
when you get to our age as well.
Henry VIII, I've been stung by bees. It looks like on the YouTube stuff.
I mean, you really lost, like, Beats was, you know,
huge.
As a character.
As a character. Yeah.
You know what? For the first 3 series, I was massive because I was doing up studio life. I didn't understand fitness.
Yeah.
Neither did I, though, man.
And then I lost loads of weight. And then I put a bit...
Purposefully? You were like, I want to lose loads of weight?
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to wear double XL. This is insane. I'm 5'9".
I'm thinking about the scene... I'm thinking of the scene where you were going to Taiwan for a job interview.
I love... That's the era.
And you were like, James Bond.
But that's what I'm remembered for.
Tiny moustache.
Man does have a passion for ties.
Yeah.
If you think about, like...
That was when,
It was like 4 years of my life. I was like Henry VIII.
Yeah.
And the rest I actually haven't been, but that's what I'm remembered for. So people are always like, wow, man, you've lost
weight. It's been 7 years or so. You know?
More.
Yeah.
I'm like,
The fitness thing, I think when you get into your 30s, like, I could get away with eating whatever I wanted in my 20s and I was skinny as a rake. And then you start noticing that you can't, like...
But let's not... That you're tall and slender. You've definitely got a better metabolism than
I
us.
would have heard if you'd said muscly.
Muscly now,
He's
one of those annoying
Maybe this
people.
T-shirt wasn't tight enough.
He's one of those annoying people that's like, I can't seem to put weight on, to put muscle on. We're trying to lose it.
I'm trying to fucking lose it.
My arms are huge, but my belly's massive.
I promise you, this time last year, the dad bod was on its way.
What, on its way? Ours was past that.
After this, I'll show you a very impressive progress before and after photo. I know I'm genuinely really proud of it. But it's done so much for my mental health. It's unbelievable. Like, now I wouldn't, like, dream of being without it. And also, like, it just kind of really puts you in your body. I feel like before I started exercising, I was just a floating head of anxiety.
Yeah, you're right.
And like, now I'm like in my body. Do you know what I mean?
It's just kind of like, if it's not worth fucking, I don't know, getting upset and worked up about it, you just can't be bothered because, like, you've run 3 miles, we've been in the gym for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, like, if you do like big work, like, even like I said I do Muay Thai. I don't fight. I go there for the cardio, right? And it's killer, right? And me growing up, I was a super lazy guy. And also, I just wouldn't want to achieve things. Going, I don't know if I could do that. It does make you think, like, if I can get through this, then I can get through a little meeting. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that thing that gives you confidence in that sense as well. Not just how you look, but from what you can achieve. Yeah. It sounds mad. And it sounds very Andy Peacock, but you know, it's
a guy told me the gym.
I'm very aware of it now.
A guy at the gym the other day said to me, "Wow, you're really good at squatting." And
you are.
No, but
I know why. Yeah,
you know why. Yeah. But I said to him, I was like, "Yeah, I'm a stripper," as a joke. Yeah, and he went, "Oh, I need to hang around with you more then."
What?
Yeah, no, and then it went really quiet, and then afterwards he went, "Sorry, that came out weird."
Yeah. Like, I thought you meant you knew strippers.
Yeah, he was like, "It's just a weird reaction. I didn't know what to say," and I was like, "Yeah, it's fine, man. I've been thinking about it as well." So that's my gym story of the week.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, no, I'm like minimum 3 times a week.
Yeah,
so I have
to.
I have to do it, man.
I do taste cadets, right? Which is like,
you're always going to be.
I mean, pretty much, like.
But again, you've created something where essentially you get to travel around the world and eat amazing food. I've been to Vietnam, and by the way, and I know you guys went there.
Amazing.
It's like a different world out there, right?
I just love it. I love food, and I love how accessible it is there, and all the different flavors and all that sort of stuff.
But just food in general is just like such a pleasure in life.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
That's the thing.
Big up food.
Same with weed. You can ruin food for yourself if you abuse it. Do you know what I mean? Which I did at times, right?
To lose the weight I did and to get fit, I actually had a phase where I was like, I'm going to stop viewing food as pleasure.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to get. Now I'm kind of back in. Like if you've got a missus, it's really nice to enjoy going out and enjoying good food.
Hard to find a
For some reason, when I'm single, I go like I live like I'm in the army.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? I wake up like 4 eggs, coffee, gym, nothing but chicken and salmon.
Because you don't have to think about someone else. Basically.
Yeah, but if you're with someone, it's quite nice to just enjoy the pleasure of food.
100%. But it's getting that balance, isn't it? Like if I'm doing the stuff with Taste Cadets and we're like, you know, away for 2 weeks eating whatever we want every day and stuff. And then like my missus wants to go out once or twice a week and stuff. Then every other day I need to be working out and I need to be not. You know, people like, you're into food. What do you cook at home? I'm cooking stuff that's like low carb or no carb. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, and that's not, you know, not even in a sort of what's it called? What's it called when you're superficial? Superficial? Yeah. Go for it. It's I've really ruined this podcast, haven't I?
No, go on.
But it's not even in that sort of sense. It's pure. It's a health thing. You know what I mean? Like I need to do that. And a balance thing.
I've only recently just been appreciating how like I take London for granted. Like I've really recently been enjoying eating out. Yeah. Like when I was single, I didn't really bother do that.
Yeah.
But it's like you can really go to like you can have amazing like you can go to Greece real easily. You can go to France real easily. By that I mean like there's this place called, have you been to this place called Entrecôte in Marylebone? All they do is steak and fries, and there's like a queue outside as if it's the new Supreme drop or something.
No, but it's always been like
we
that.
went there on a very good day where it wasn't much of a queue, but it's just like suddenly it feels like you're in 1960s Paris or something. It's just incredible. But London in general is just
amazing.
Every type of food.
Like you get like Syrian roasted chicken. You know what I mean? Like you get everything. Like
where's your favourite place to go like market wise? Like we went to Broadway Market the other day. Is it Broadway? Borough Market.
Borough Market,
and it was just incredible. And I was just like, I mean, I would like to speak to you about that more in life in general, because I'm sure you must know some amazing spots.
Do you know what? Like Broadway Market in East is nice, but there's some real heads that don't even film themselves eating. You know, they're the heads.
What do you mean?
Like people that I know that I follow and that just will be
on the low.
They're just
really
just about
it.
And they'll be like, nah, you need to go to like this market in like the depths of Southeast, and there's these amazing Romanian kebab things, and you need to try them. Like, I don't know anything. Like, you know, when you start getting put on.
Yeah.
But there's ones that I've got that I'll recommend that I haven't even tried, because I know they're fire, but I haven't even got.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that balance where, you know, like, so if I'm traveling around eating in another country and I come here, I can't be going to restaurants a couple of times a week, innit?
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's got the amount of calories.
He only likes chains. Big chain.
Just Leon.
I can get so...
I've been there for years.
Carluccio's used to have that every day at one point.
Yeah, that's when I like Henry VIII.
Yeah.
I'd go for
is it kind of sort of authentic Italian food?
Definitely.
I mean, that's their thing. That's they brand it as such.
It's just fucking whatever.
Yeah.
They do an English breakfast.
Yeah.
But instead of butter, they use olive oil.
Yeah, and instead of bacon, it's pancetta.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is
I love the middle of the night piss, although I don't like being woken up.
Well, do you feel like when you get older, I hope you're still recording because this is quite funny.
Yeah.
That you do start to have to piss more often throughout the night.
Yeah.
As getting as an older man.
There is a thing though that like PTs.
Do you guys live that?
100%.
I live that. It's really annoying.
But there's a thing that PTs. You know when PTs talk about.
We have to drink so much water.
Well, and sleep though is very important, right? So don't drink an hour before going to bed because it ruins your sleep.
Yeah.
Which I can't do because
but then
I get
don't
a headache
want to wake
if I
up
don't
with
drink.
a headache.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then I wake up and I have the fucking hydration sachet immediately.
Because of his diarrhea.
Yeah. Well, no, it's my headache.
Yeah, but you have them because of your IBS.
Yeah, I don't have IBS that strong. I don't wake up. I don't have to. It's not like you're pissing where I have to do something, have to have a shit. I might have a shit 3 times a day.
On that note, can I say something?
Yeah.
Getting older with the pisses. Have you noticed that with a piss? Do you remember when you were a kid and your dad might be in the toilet and you
It takes a while to start.
No. There'll be a fart with it comes with a piss.
Yeah.
That's a thing now.
It does. Yes.
Because you're pushing out. It goes,
no, standard.
But if I
that never used to happen. But now it does. What is that? Is that being in your face?
It's the push.
Yeah, it's the push. You're pushing. Yeah.
But it's like my son.
But as a kid, and you hear nothing.
Yeah,
He'll
you're
finish,
pushing now.
and mine will just start.
Yeah.
Because of it needs the activation.
You need the push. That's why I nearly faint.
No, but you'd still push to piss at any age.
Well, I think it just comes out.
It's just quick.
Yeah,
got to go
because
around the tubes.
it's more of a push because it's coming out. It's coming out the back as well.
Yeah, but what you think when you get older that you just need to push it more?
Yeah, you need more pressure.
More push.
Yeah. I mean, so sort of girlfriends have got to accept that quite quickly.
100%.
There's not much getting round it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
do you know what? I've come up with a technique that I've never told anyone. If you're in that new stage, is you flush it whilst you're still pissing whilst
I
it
do
happens.
that with shit.
I do that.
Do you ever do that? Yeah, that's great.
I do it with shitting as well.
Yeah.
Like if I know it's going to fall out, I'll just flush, let it fall. By the time the flush is finished, I wipe my ass.
Yeah.
Flush.
And then I guess, like I'm in a stage of a relationship that's in about 6 months now. So it's I'm starting to kind of it might be all right. Yeah. You know what I mean? And she mentioned the word fart and no one, because when you get together, you sort of pretend that part of life doesn't exist.
Yeah, of course.
And I've been trying to sort of delay that for as long as possible.
Like
but I've got quite a small flat, so I've basically that's when the flush technique came.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But I don't think it's been working as well as I
thought. Your farts
are
outlasting the flush now.
Yeah,
holding them in for so long.
And I was thinking she's going to notice that I flush very quickly when I get into
it's
the.
very efficient.
But I think there's nothing wrong with these things. I think these things are just courtship, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you remember when you were younger? It meant more. Like you remember going around a girl's house and then you've literally got stomach cramps because you couldn't fart the whole time.
Yeah, of course.
I've got to unload afterwards. Yeah. Has this turned into one of those lads podcasts?
Yeah.
I had another story, but I'm not going to share it. Yeah. All right, guys, I think this is probably our time. Do you know what I've got to say? Because we were talking about, from how far it goes back to those 2002 eras. I feel like this is already one of the best things I've done in quite a few years because I was the under-18 DMC champion in 2002.
So
and then I just sort of celebrated for 20 years.
Well done.
That was about with some interesting stuff in between, but generally speaking, this has been like a big thing.
You're basically
for me,
A-track.
And that's what this podcast is about: is to celebrate DJ IQ.
Yeah, exactly.
2002.
This was me just in a way to be see these super relevant guys at the moment. They knew me.
Yeah.
They
Have you got a video of it? Because you should put it up now.
I do actually. I'll try and get one out.
No, but honestly, man, it goes both ways. It's a pleasure, and for us, it's not just it is that as well, but also we get along. We're part of the same sort of community. We talk.
Exactly, and it's been really nice to actually
kick
it because obviously there's the Instagram thing, but it's to actually
real life shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it would have been just in passing at festivals before, that sort of vibe.
It's so weird actually. There's just to end on not a particularly remarkable note, but that it's really weird when you see people at events and you kind of like, because I went to like a fashion event, and admittedly that's probably a little bit more stush and weird than a music thing. Yeah. But it's almost like, I don't know what the etiquette is. Sometimes it's just a head nod. Yeah. Or like it's really busy anyway, and there's people that I sort of do know, but I don't want to have a full-on conversation with them. But I should I? Is it really not to?
I feel like
it's a difficult one to get right. But like I totally haven't had that here with you boys.
Yeah,
so it's blessed.
Amazing.
We can always chat.
And I knew that there'd be a lot.
He's at fashion shows, not me.
Big time. Yeah, we'll see each other.
But
we'll just nod.
Just not.
We've had a big chat now.
We've got.
He won't be like Dior or anything. He'll be like Aries. Or,
what's wrong with that?
No, nothing.
Big up Aries.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't ever gift him.
No.
I could do with some more gifting. I don't get gifted as much as I'd like.
This is the start.
This is it.
The sponsors are rolling in.
This is right. Well, this will have like a label on it. Next.
Exactly.
On the next one.
You'll be giving
Chuck a Taste get a sticker on there if you want, and then
boom. Collab.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks so much. This has been I'm as shocked as you are, episode 1. I can't really believe it, but there you go. I always wanted to make that noise, and I can't.
Because I'm foreign. I can roll the R.
So many people can, I can't. Thanks everyone for listening to this episode of I'm as shocked as you are. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.